It has been a long time since I've updated my YouTube, but my New Year's resolution is to do this, so I'm going to be putting more of my Sapphic content on this platform. Join me today as I rank all the Sapphic holiday films I've watched, from the worst to the very best. As Sapphic Media, we get a very low budget on our productions. It means we get a lot of very questionable, very eccentric content that might not be very good. However, there are some low budget productions that fall pretty high on this list. Let's start with the worst Sapphic holiday film I have ever seen, which was Friendsgiving. This had such an amazing cast. I had really high hopes for it. It was the biggest train wreck of a film I have seen. I think my love of Kat Dennings had my expectations way too high for this. There was no plot, there was nothing happening, everything was confusing. You left the film not having gained a thing. Next up is Merry and Gay, which I had low expectations for because I saw the trailer. I knew the budget wasn't particularly high, I wasn't expecting much, and somehow I still got less than I was expecting. I do not mind musicals to a degree, but sometimes I feel like they're very out of place. In this film, the musical components felt very out of place. The singing was good, the acting was something alright, but the music just felt so jarring that it took me out of the film completely. The only bonus of this is it's free on Prime Video at the moment, so it's a cheap watch if you happen to have it already. Saying that, I still could not make it through the entire film. Next up is Christmas at the Ranch, which I was really hoping would be good because it would have been so amazing if it was. Saying that, the whole film was absolutely painful to watch. The acting was off at times. The script was the worst thing about it. It felt so unrealistic, the way they texted, the way they talked, that I just could not. I think Hallmark movies often feel like they're forced, like they're put on, and this was like a Hallmark movie times 100. This one felt very like Hannah Montana the movie, and by that I mean it's about a woman who flies back to Nashville and falls for a ranch worker. Lesbom I had high expectations for because I really like some of the director's other work, saying that this was not it. Lesbom follows the trope that a lot of Sapphic holiday films seem to follow, which is a woman who is closeted bringing her girlfriend home for the holidays. Whilst the acting was a lot better in this one, the whole plotline just felt again like not much was going on. In a New York Christmas wedding, a woman is visited by an angel who tells her how her life could have been had she followed a different path. The timeline was very chaotic in this. There was a lot going on. I did enjoy it to a degree, but it's not one I would watch again. Next up on the list is Happiest Season. And before any of you come for me, I know not everyone's going to agree with that, but the reason I had to put it so low was purely because of Harper. If I was ever in a moving vehicle with Harper, I would have jumped out. I would be on the road. Like, that would be the better choice in life than being in it with her. I think it goes to say a lot about a movie when you're hoping they don't end up with the person that they're meant to end up with. Whilst I get that being closeted is hard, many of us have been there, that is not a reason to manipulate and treat your partner horrifically. It follows two girlfriends, Abby and Harper, as they go back to her family's house for Christmas. Her family are not nice at all. She is not nice at all. And yeah. Next up is another one that I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for putting this low on the list, but Carol. Look, I get it. I know that a lot of lesbians are obsessed with Cate Blanchett. Saying that, this was a painful watch. It took me a lot to get through this, and again, I just didn't like the character. However, if you love angsty, period, historical kind of dramas, you will probably like this. City of Trees follows a girl who goes back to her hometown to see her parents for the holidays. However, once she's there, she meets a girl who she was basically enemies with in high school. It's a slow burn enemies to lovers kind of vibe, and I loved it. This was very low budget, and you can tell it's low budget, saying that it felt so authentic, so emotional, that I've watched it about 8 times. City of Trees is also free on YouTube, I believe, so win-win. Let It Snow is a Netflix series that features an ensemble cast and follows them all, kind of like Love Actually does, where you've got multiple different storylines converging into one. If you're a fan of Van and Yellow Jackets, Same actor. Next up is the Elise Ballman Christmas film. I had to watch this. I was a Carmilla stan. I was on Tumblr in the recesses, reblogging every picture of them that came up for years. To this day, I still lurk on the AO3 fandom section for them because I cannot let Carmilla go, and I never will. So when I saw Elise Ballman was in this, I jumped at it. And then it also had the dad from Veronica Mars, so it was a win-win. This was one of the better ones, but saying that, it was still very cheesy. However, it's Christmas, it's the holidays, you're gonna deal with a bit of Hallmark cheese. Honestly, I enjoyed it. I feel like Sapphics deserve cheesy films too. You know, the straights get so many cheesy Hallmark romance films every year. We deserve one or two. Looking for Her follows a fake dating plot, a woman who puts out an ad for a fake girlfriend for the holidays. It is as cheesy as City of Trees, but I felt like the production value was a lot higher, it was higher budget, it was better done, and it was so enjoyable. I'm not sure if this one is still free on YouTube, but it used to be, so again, it's another one to look out for, and the relationship in it just felt so authentic and believable that I loved it. In my top spot are two films that are not kind of technically holiday films, but are perfect for the holidays. You may recognise the two actresses from this. One you may recognise from Gemword LQ, and the other you may recognise from Shadowhunters. This had a really good lineup, which was the reason why I watched it in the first place, but the film was so cute. One of them is a gardener, the other is a doctor. They meet on an app where this girl doesn't realise she's queer. She goes on this app and finds a person that she thinks is a guy because of the name, but turns out to be a girl when they go on the date together. It leads her to question things, and it's a beautiful coming out story. It's a cute romance, it's low angst, and it's just a joy to watch. Then in my top spot, I have to put Imagine Me and You. Imagine Me and You is a film that I own 2 copies of on DVD in case one breaks, because I am that reliant on having a copy there to watch. I still think it's one of the best leading Sapphic films we have, to be honest. It feels authentic, it's cute, it's funny, it's low angst, and it's a joy to watch. Imagine Me and You follows a woman that's having her wedding at the beginning of the film, only to fall for her florist. The whole film is about her falling for this florist who is a woman. It's a very unexpected romance, and it's very cute, even though I do feel bad for her husband to a degree. Do I? No, I don't. I don't. I'm sorry, sir. I am sorry. It also became kind of synonymous with a film that if you weren't sure if a girl was queer, you would just look across the bar and just shout, "You're a wanker number 9." And it would work every fucking time. 2 films that I still need to watch is A Holiday I Do, and then the new Hallmark one that I really want to see, and I'm hearing great reviews about. So anyway, that was my wrap up of Sapphic holiday films. The ones I ranked low, still go and watch them because you may love them. A taste is different for everyone. Try them out. I know people who absolutely adored the ranch one, so give it a whirl. Bye guys, have a good day, and remember to hydrate.